For another grammar mini lesson. Today we're going to be discussing infinitive clauses. An infinitive clause is a clause containing an infinitive as its main or only verb form. An infinitive is the basic form of a verb without any inflection binding it to a particular subject or tense. For example, to run, to drink, and to go are all verbs in their infinitive forms. As you can see in the examples, an infinitive verb, a verb in its infinitive form, will always be preceded by to. So let's see if we can find the infinitive phrase. First, we're going to want to start by finding the infinitive verb. In this sentence, for John to ignore her advice would be foolish. We can see to ignore is our infinitive verb. We have the verb ignore preceded by to. Anything that comes before it when the infinitive phrase is in the subject position is going to accompany our infinitive clause. So for John is a part of our clause. And then for John to ignore her advice, we can tell that would be foolish is describing for John to ignore her advice. So this complete part here for John to ignore her advice is our clause. Let's look at another sentence. To fool him is not particularly difficult. To fool is our infinitive. And then him would be who anyone would be trying to fool. It accompanies our verb. And then we know that to fool him is what is not particularly difficult is describing. So this is all we have for our infinitive clause in this particular sentence. I just want to preface that this should be clause and not phrase. Phrases and clauses are different. But now you can try these next few on your own. All right, let's look at the answers together. First, we need to find our infinitive. Let's read through the sentence. To write good poetry requires as much practice as talent. We can see that to write is right here at the beginning. It's an infinitive form. Writes our verb with to before it. Good poetry accompanies this as a part of our clause because we can tell that requires as much practice as talent is referring to the writing of good poetry. Let's look at this last one. To ask someone for help simply wouldn't occur to my father. To ask is our infinitive. Ask is a verb preceded by to. Someone for help accompanies it because we know that simply is describing how it wouldn't occur to the father, and how it wouldn't occur to the father. What wouldn't occur to the father is to ask someone for help. So we know that this is our complete clause here. Let's review. An infinitive clause is a clause containing an infinitive as its main or only verb form, and an infinitive is the basic form of a verb without an inflection binding it to a particular subject or tense. It will always be preceded by to. Great work today, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next grammar mini lesson.